Still an inland wind damage that we're going to see with this thing. Wind gusts already over hurricane force inland near Philadelphia. The coastal flooding and erosion that they're getting right now, especially along the Jersey coast, and just unbelievably treacherous travel out there for anybody who's got to travel with it all the way from North Carolina up to New England. All right, Jeff Morrow is in one of those elements. He is in the snow. Breezewood, Pennsylvania is where we go to find Jeff, and obviously some very heavy snow starting to come down there. Jeff, what's the situation like in Breezewood?
We are in the middle of a heck of a snowstorm going on right now. We know that in other parts of the Northeast things are bad, but I can't imagine it being too much worse than what's going on right now here in Breezewood. We're looking back up. This is generally looking toward the west here, down toward the small town of Breezewood. You can probably see some of the trucks that are back up on top of the hill there. They're just pretty much sitting in a big line. The general gist of it is that a lot of these trucks just got here to Breezewood and then parked wherever they could because all the hotels were jammed last night and most of them are still fairly full, and they're just parking their trucks and just sitting there because they really can't move out on the highways. It is just a total mess, and Breezewood has just been turned into a big truck stop at the present time. Let's see if we can move down here. These are really some amazing pictures. If you look down this way, and it's really started to snow hard here once again. If you're looking back up toward, this is off toward the east now, there's just truck after truck after truck. They're just lined up back to back, and it's very hard even for the plows or anybody to try to get through. We have had reports that the Pennsylvania Turnpike is clear, but only to the west, but that report's about an hour old, and if the snow keeps up like this, and it's really starting to come down here now, they may have problems keeping that open. Also, Interstate 70, which Randy is panning on over to now, you can see a lot of the trucks coming off Interstate 70, but none are going onto the interstate. That's because they're not allowing the trucks to go down that way. Evidently, a lot of trucks have been stranded down on some of the higher elevations here to the south, and I don't know if you're catching the full impact of the snow here. It's bending the trees down. There's so much on the ground. It is really starting to snow hard. The really big wet flakes here. So we're definitely not out of this storm by any stretch of the imagination. Back to Atlanta.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Stay dry and warm out there. I want to show you what's going on in central Pennsylvania right now with a few things. Radar, first of all. You can see how this precipitation is just wrapping inland here, and right in through here, which is where Jeff is, you can start to see what happened earlier in Pennsylvania, and eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, is starting to come inland. So they're starting to get enhanced snowfall there. We do expect this storm system not to move all that much in the next 12 to 14 hours or so. So this same area is just going to receive the pounding. Rainfall, yes, along the coast, snowfall inland. And again, folks, I cannot emphasize enough to you as to what's going on along the coastline with those gusty winds. Remember the other day we were talking about the very high pressure system up to the north. Pressures being very high. With a low pressure system rapidly developing to the south and trying to move toward the north, think about what that's going to do. It's going to really just tighten up that gradient like a spring, and the release is going to be inland. The winds will be onshore, and they'll be very, very gusty here. And persistent winds like that, winds that could gust easily over 70 miles an hour or be almost hurricane force for quite some time, could cause some major problems. And just from looking at this situation as a meteorologist, I would hate to say that it could be worse than what we've seen with some hurricanes by the time things are said and done, with the coastal flooding, the beach erosion, and even the wind damage. So that's what we're looking at with this storm system. I want to show you what's already fallen here across Pennsylvania, and we'll do that in just about 30 minutes. We'll be going back to Jeff and also covering the rest of the nation's weather, which is also stormy, and let you know how it's going to affect your weekend. Right now, let's go to some commercial breaks.